Hello, Internet. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Who Cares, where we're going to discuss and debate the Doctor on his adventures through space and time.
And we got a new trailer! Because we're fanboys and we're excited.
So here we go. So once again, we have another look at the TARDIS. Pretty much the same as last year, I'd say.
Yeah.
There are some round things down in the bottom level, it looks like.
I do love a round thing.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the last trailer breakdown, but here we can see him again.
Yeah, and he mentions it in last season. He's like, where did I put the round things? I want more round things. Or maybe he got them. I don't know. Also, it's very dark in these. I don't know if they color corrected it just to make the trailers look more epic or something. But it's been very dark in the TARDIS, the last two trailers we saw.
Capaldi looking good.
Yeah.
You can see if you can look very closely down at the bottom. He has a new outfit this season. I don't know if you've seen it in promotional artwork.
A little magic-y.
Yeah, it's purple, not like purple, but I forget what it's called.
Dark black purpley thing. I get it. And it's like crushed almost.
Yeah, and I think this is going to go along with last season, how he had several outfits. Like sometimes he'd wear just the coat with a button-up shirt. Sometimes he'd wear the coat with like a sweater underneath it, and then in the Christmas special he was wearing a hoodie. I think this year he's going to be doing the same thing with a couple outfits, kind of like how David Tennant had a couple outfits.
Yeah. And I dig it. I mean, why would the Doctor wear the same thing over and over? Yeah. He's just a guy. But I'm digging the big hair. The big hair for him, just it's working because he had some short haircuts in the last season. So
yeah, I'm glad that he grew it out for this because it gives more of a crazy mad scientist look.
Right.
Sorry, I'm late.
So we see Maisie Williams of Game of Thrones fame. I think she's going to murder every character in the show.
We see her with Clara. There was a lot of fan theories about who she is, but especially from the shot of her just standing next to Clara, I'm almost positive it's just a new character.
I hope it's a new character.
Which I expect, but every time there's a new character in a trailer or promotional photos, the fandom tends to be like, is it going to be like River Song or Susan or whatever? And maybe because I'm saying this will be the one time they're right and it is Susan or something.
Or Child Clara.
That wouldn't even make sense.
Thanks. Oh, because we want two Claras. Not only did we want her gone, now there's two of them.
He hasn't got a plan yet.
Those guys were cool. They were like undersea. I'm pretty sure we are going to get the Atlantis thing.
See, here, I think it makes it look like... I mean,
they're on land, but I think it's kind of like a crossover.
Maybe.
Sort of.
Maybe
we're attacking land now, and that's kind of the point.
The editing makes it look like it's in the episode with Maisie Williams.
Could be.
Like with the Vikings, because her episode is the Viking episode.
Atlantis Vikings. They're really jumping the shark.
I feel like it's not going to be Atlantis,
it's probably not
and we're both going to be so
Vikings.
disappointed.
Also, in this shot, right here, we get the Doctor with his hoodie on. Sort of. Is it a hoodie? Yeah, it looks like a hoodie. And just a t-shirt, which is cool. I like that kind of casual outfit for him because he just doesn't give a shit. Clara, but also Viking in the background with a historically inaccurate hat.
But how else will they know it's Vikings?
Well, you know.
Horn hat.
Yeah, horn hats. This is a cool shot, and I don't know what it is. I just like the cinematography involved, so that's my 2 cents.
We'll have, and it will be spectacular.
Dragon. I'm gonna guess this isn't a real dragon, because I don't think Doctor Who would make something a real dragon. I'm guessing this is going to be the villain creates a robot dragon, or it's an alien that happens to look like a dragon.
And that's where, because it kind of looks, I don't know if it's like an Asiatic sort of feel in here, or it could be a sea monster with the Viking thing, like maybe that's where we're going. I have no idea, but yeah, usually when they have like a myth like that, like the Robin Hood thing, it's just they explain it within canon, and it makes sense.
They even had the Loch Ness Monster once, and this is very similar to that, so...
There you go.
We have these hands that we saw in the first trailer, but this time we see them more clearly and for longer, and there's an eyeball in them. Very interesting. I don't know what that's going to be.
Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Looks very cool, though. The makeup on it's good, and the eyeball looks very realistic for being, like, even in this pause shot, still looks very good. Can't really,
I don't know why, but this, and I could be totally wrong, for some reason this makes me think of the Sisterhood of Karn, because they kind of give off that aesthetic.
That weirdness.
The sort of mystical, weird, and obviously they're just, they're from Gallifrey, so they're not like magic or anything, but they just come off as sort of mystical, and the hand, or the eye on the hand, usually comes off as sort of a mystical soothsayer type aesthetic.
Yeah, kind of like a wisdom. I don't know. It kind of has. At first, like the first shot we saw this with the hands before they turned around and showed the eyeball, we had like the zombie thing going on. But now it almost feels like a cross between like a Uruk pit from like Lord of the Rings and Pan's Labyrinth, and then like the Sisterhood of Karn, like some sort of, I don't know. It's weird. This looks like an interesting episode though. I'm looking forward to it.
We have the kid from Flatline. Once again, he's coming back. This time he's going to be able to see the Doctor, not in a tiny TARDIS, so that's good.
That's good. He was a good actor, and I thought he was kind of a cool, like, one-off companion sort of thing.
He was basically Clara's companion in that episode.
Yeah, it was, but it worked. It worked.
Clara with a rocket launcher.
Missile launcher. It's a Stinger missile from Metal Gear Solid.
This reminds me of the Seventh Doctor's companion who had the baseball bat. I don't know why, it just gives off that vibe.
Yeah, also, she's holding it like it's not going to do anything. Like, she's just gingerly... I don't know. That's a weird grip. I don't know how to hold... I've never shot a rocket launcher in my life. Maybe she's totally on point with this. Also, she looks extremely not jacked to be shooting a rocket launcher. That's not the type of person you trust. Only people that are super excited to murder the other people on the other end of that missile.
Some sort of cat person with Maisie Williams.
That makes sense. Nothing about this is weird to me. Cat people are a thing. Usually they were those nurses, but these look a little bit different. He's much more Khajiit.
Ooh, I wonder if it is the same species, but a male of the species. Because I don't think
I've never seen the males.
We've never seen. No, wait, we did in the David Tennant episode. Where they're in the cars, there was a male of the species, and he.
There was, yeah, and he and his human wife, had kittens, which was weird.
Yeah, so maybe it is a different species because it doesn't look quite the same.
Do you think that lady had 8 teats?
Oh, she must have.
So this is obviously Skaro now. Like, we had some speculation, and we were pretty sure. Like, I was 90% on it. Now it's 100%. The Daleks are rising up out of Skaro here. Very cool. Still looks awesome to me.
I'm excited because Skaro, I mean, this is going to be in the past in Skaro because Skaro's been fucked up from the Time War, so unless they build, like, new Skaro, which maybe they do. But no, it looks like Skaro.
Well, it looks like they're going to be also exploring the whole Gallifrey plotline this year anyway, so yeah. I would imagine that this is past Skaro or new Skaro. Either one makes sense as long as they're, moving forward towards the let's find Gallifrey thing, because that's been teased for like 2 years. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Probably Dalek stuff.
The architecture looks either Dalek or it looks a little bit like this is not really related, but it looks a little bit like the 8th Doctor's console room, these arms that go up like that. A little bit. Other than that, it doesn't. But yeah, it looks like Dalek architecture.
Yeah. Okay, this is cool. Looks like another sea monsters type thing with water coming in, but it looks like England.
Maybe this is the Atlantis episode. Maybe. We're really holding out for this Atlantis. It's not going to be Atlantis, and we'll be like, fuck.
Yeah. Just water people. Deal with it. Doesn't have to be Atlantis.
So here we have Clara pointing what looks like a wand.
Wand or something, yeah.
And we find out she's pointing it at Missy. And Missy is in an episode called The Witch is Familiar. So maybe an episode that has to do with probably not real magic, because magic doesn't really... But
wizardry.
But some sort of
Hogwarts.
fake... Yeah, some sort of fake magic that maybe Missy has cooked up to try and take over an area that believes in magic or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just glad she's back. She was fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
I'm the Doctor, and I save people.
So we have more Daleks. I've talked about the Daleks in the last season, and I know we've mentioned I think they're overused. Hopefully, if we get a really good Dalek story, it'll make up for it. But I don't think the last Dalek story we had, Into the Dalek, was good, but it wasn't... I wouldn't consider that a straight-up Dalek story. The Dalek was the setting, not the antagonist necessarily.
Right, yeah, no,
the antagonists were the internal system, for the most part. They did show up at the end.
Also, kind of the idea of the philosophy of the Doctor was really the point of it. Yeah. And the final line that the Dalek says is, "You make a good Dalek," which I thought was very interesting, because that's kind of the point of the Capaldi's Doctor. Like, is he a good guy?
Yeah.
I think, though, if they're going to do the Gallifrey and the search for Gallifrey, you have to mention the Daleks, because that's why they're gone. It's the Daleks. So
I just hope it's a good Dalek story, because
I do too.
Daleks fall into boring. They're just there. They're enemies. They
don't have
people.
nuance, and I think that's kind of the idea. Is because, like, yes, we should kill them all. It's obvious.
Here,
we had a ghost Abe Lincoln sighting again.
I wonder what that's going to be from. Maybe it's Atlantis, Abe Lincoln Ghost.
No, it's Space Emancipation Proclamation.
Gotcha. Then we get this. Looks almost like I forget what they're called, but you know the Hellraiser movies where they have those things that are like tortured?
I don't remember what they're called either. What are those called, guys? But yeah, looks just like that.
I've heard theories that someone thinks this might be the Master pre-Missy. So this is because before in Doctor Who, we've seen the Master. This wasn't New Who. This was classic Doctor Who. A couple times he's shown up completely burned and just his face is all messed up, and then he goes to regenerate, and it's revealed he's the Master. So this could be a similar situation where this is probably
Missy backstory.
Yeah, this is probably a post sim master that he regenerated into after.
Could be.
Kind of like almost like a war master where it's somewhere in the middle that we hadn't seen.
You know what I think it's going to be, though? Probably just a lackey or like the number
Oh,
one.
probably,
It's
but-
probably just a number one for like the Sisterhood of Karn because he's wearing the hood robe thing.
I think the Sisterhood of Karn's all women, though.
I know, but he's, I don't know, the way it looks like subservient but strong sort
Maybe.
of muscle. I don't know. Could be anything.
My theory would be it's the Master going to the Sisterhood of Karn in order to regenerate, which would explain.
That's also good, too.
Which would explain why they're able to regenerate into a woman, which arguably I would say is.
That's usually a thing that they can do.
I think Time Lords are able to do that already, but I think they're going to choose their regeneration much like the Eighth Doctor did into the War Doctor,
Right.
and they're going to choose to become a woman for some reason, maybe just for variety's sake. I don't know.
Well, the Master's crazy. It's probably a funny reason. Like,
Yeah.
I always wanted to wear a dress, but I wanted people to take me seriously at the same time. Like, okay, so we have Space Odin. He's got like a big hat and he's got a red eyeball thing.
Yeah.
So
I forget who was supposed to play this. There was supposed to be someone. I think it was. Remember in the first season of Game of Thrones, the king, fat guy.
yeah.
He was supposed to play Odin, but something came up and he couldn't make it, which is
Is it definitely
unfortunate.
Odin?
Because yes, it's Odin. Because he would have been really good in that role. I could see him playing an Odin type character.
Cool. I'm looking forward to the Viking episode. That's gonna be neat.
The Doctor riding a horse, a lot like he did in the first episode, Deep Breath.
Yeah.
So
Do
I
you think
wonder
it's the horse that Tennant had?
I
It
don't
looked a
think
little bit
so.
different.
That was a white horse, Jake.
I'm sorry.
Get your game on fleek.
I'm sorry.
This is what
Well, here's a vagina monster.
Yeah, that
Looks
sure
like
is.
it has a vagina face.
Yeah. Looks a little bit like the Predator.
Yeah, but if you took away all the teeth and put a clitoris in it.
Yeah.
your story ends.
We see some action scenes, but most importantly, guitar.
They thought the scene was so cool that they used it in 2 trailers back to back, and they are right.
It is the coolest, and pretty much I'm just gonna get a GIF of this after the episode comes out, and I'm just gonna watch it forever.
Missy with a Dalek. Before in the past, the Master has made deals with the Daleks, and usually once the plan comes to fruition, she double crosses them.
Or they double cross her or
Yeah.
him.
So we'll see how that plays out, but I assume there'll be some sort of team up in order to take down the Doctor, which will inevitably backfire on the Daleks and probably Missy.
Right. And now we have the Doctor and Clara running away from somebody, or running with them, it looks like from.
I think it's that one ghost-looking guy from the
Yeah,
first
I think
trailer.
so. I think you're right. And it also looks like those tunnels that we speculated may be the Atlantis episode, because there's kind of like watery stuff on the ground. I have no idea.
It's some sort of underground base.
Right. Okay, so the cat people or person in this scenario now breathes fire. That's a new quality.
Yeah.
Was not aware that cat people breathed fire. Did he just jump out a window?
Yeah, and again, he's wearing that dark purple jacket. I really like that dark purple jacket. I think I actually like it better than his actual normal outfit with the black with the red lining. I don't know why. It just seems more like...
More
sort
doctory.
Yeah. Which I get it. I get how it's sort of just eccentric outfits can get a little silly, but I think that's normal
He
enough.
doesn't have like celery on his breast.
No.
What is happening?
Okay, these Daleks.
Yeah, if you look in the right here, you can see some original color Daleks, which are hard to tell because in the classic series they were black and white, but those are original design Daleks back from like
And if you
first, second, third Doctor
And
era.
you can see the big difference if you look at these bronze ones. They have these kind of right below the neck, I guess. They have, different plating and stuff. Also, they're bigger. But yeah, so this leads me to believe that we are going back in time to Skaro.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make me think it's new Skaro.
But it also, we have the newer version of the Daleks, so it'd
I
be
think it's like
interesting.
a crossover thing.
Maybe the Daleks decide to go back into their own past and somehow figure out a way to do that, even though you're not supposed to, and are
Well, they're
trying to
Daleks.
influence something. And also we have this leader Dalek in the center. Maybe this is the Cult of Skaro, I don't know. But that should be interesting. I assume that'll be the main antagonist of the episode, and the Doctor will stop them.
Same old, just the Doctor.
Here we have the Doctor giving some sort of peace sign getting onto a unit plane, because those are unit uniforms.
This makes me think that he had just a really cool speech.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's just like, deuces!
And Clara Oswald in
Clara and the Doctor hugging, which normally isn't a thing that he's willing to do. It seems like he's going to have a pretty drastic character change after the Christmas episode because
Yeah, a little more sympathy going on.
if you've seen the Christmas episode, which you should have by now, if not, spoilers, I'll wait a second. he almost loses Clara, but then she comes back. It seems to maybe like it softened him a little bit. Like he's more...
Right.
I think he's still going to be a little bit crotchety, a little bit dismissive of people, but it seems like he's more open to at least Clara.
Yeah, he was... Like, even Matt Smith got a little more cold after he lost Amy and Rory, and that kind of translated over, and then he got flirty but still dismissive of Clara, and then he just got totally dismissive after he changed, even though they had that sort of heart-to-heart right after he changed in the very first episode. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you're getting more of a sort of I care about you vibe as opposed to you're my lackey.
Yeah, hopefully the companion-doctor relationship will be better this season, because I don't necessarily hate Clara as a whole, but I thought at the end of last season she should have left.
Right.
The Christmas episode ending would have been the perfect ending for that character.
Absolutely.
And I would have looked back and been like, not everything was perfect. There was a little too much focus on her stuff with Danny, but that was a great ending for her and she was a character. Sure.
Yeah.
Now it feels like they're stretching it a little far, and there are rumors that even after this season she might not be gone. So
I'm getting tired of the Clara thing because we've explored her character. We know what she offers, and she's not really going to grow much after this. Like, there's not much that can happen to her at this point to make me compelled to look at her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like, in the Danny thing, like, Amy and Rory were on the TARDIS, and you saw it evolve there, and then a little bit, very, very little, off-screen or during episodes while they're with the Doctor or separated from the Doctor, you know, especially in the hotel and their last episode. There's not much you can do with her at this point besides kill her off.
So they basically have to go full-on almost Rove's companion, where it's just, or I guess you could say Donna companion. It's probably closer to say Donna because there's not going to be a romantic element. At least I hope not. That'd be weird.
Not at this point.
I assume they'll just be really good friends, going around the universe, having adventures. And if that's...
Then he has to cut her off.
And if that's the extent of what it is, it'll be good. But I do think...
I hope they kill her off because... and that's not my hate boiling through. I think it's a good way for the Doctor to move forward. Because the show is about the Doctor and his experiences, and sometimes bad things happen.
Right.
And I think if she died and he fails her, that's so much more interesting than the alternative, which is just like they peacefully part ways and she's not there anymore.
We talked about earlier, though, we talked about the possibility of maybe, because we've seen through the progression of last season, she's becoming more and more like the Doctor. She's making tougher and tougher calls and being a little more callous in her decision-making.
Yeah.
If that continues this season, by the end, maybe she's gone even beyond where the Doctor would go. Maybe she makes a decision too far that even he wouldn't make, and he has to say, you know, this is gone too far.
That's also interesting.
I have to leave, and he has to be the one to say, no, you can't come anymore.
Especially because in the last trailer, we saw a lot of scenes with her and Missy standing next to each other, not really looking like they were in opposition.
Yeah.
So maybe Missy kind of has this sort of like, it's a common sense argument, like, why aren't we eradicating Daleks or Cybermen or something? And she gets it. Like, she's like, well, yeah, of course, but the Doctor's still not willing to pull the trigger on that sort of thing.
Right.
And maybe there's a schism. I have no idea. Either way, she can't have a positive ending.
No, because she already...
I just think it's weak. She got her chance.
Yeah, Moffat already wrote her a good ending and she didn't leave. So now you get a terrible... Not terrible, because a bad ending for her can still be well written and very interesting.
Well, I don't necessarily mean... I just mean not her happy ending necessarily, or a sort of happy ending. I'm scared they're going to give her Danny back.
That would suck.
Right, I don't want that.
I'd be like, wow... Thanks for undoing like one of the few deaths we actually get in Doctor Who, because we don't get a lot of main or even side character deaths. Yeah. At best, in Base Under Siege episodes, you get extra number 3 getting killed to show that there's tension or a threat.
Stakes.
Yeah.
The TARDIS!
So that's really the end of the Doctor Who trailer number 2. It comes out September 19th.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to that very much. And so that's when our reviews will begin, and we'll
hopefully,
have a new season of Who Cares coming.
Hopefully the 20th we should have the review for the first episode out.
20th, 21st usually. Yeah. Usually we get them out in the first couple days.
I do want to quickly address, there's a rumor that the year after this there won't be a regular season of Doctor Who because of scheduling conflicts with Moffat doing Sherlock and Peter Capaldi possibly working on a couple other projects. There might not be a regular season of Doctor Who. Instead, what they're going to do is sort of like Tennant's last season.
Or Sherlock-ish.
Yeah, they're going to do like 3 specials throughout the year.
3 doesn't seem like enough.
No, but if they're long, I mean, it still bums me out. I'd prefer a season, but at least we'd get something, I guess. That's going to be a bummer, unless
Hour and a
they're just
half.
awesome.
Hour and a half each. Maybe if they just did like 4 of them in a Christmas special, if they were long and had a lot of content to go through, maybe it would be worth it.
I don't know. I'd rather them I mean, I guess it just depends on the situation, but Matt Smith's season, one of them was a split season, so they did half the episodes, and they waited, and then they did another half later. I still don't really like that. I prefer a one long season.
Was that his second season?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's going to bum me out, and we're going to have to figure something else for Who Cares. We'll probably focus more on...
We'll probably do some earlier series stuff, like we'll go into Eccleston, Tennant, and Smith, and talk through those. And
I'd also like to talk about some classic Who eventually.
Yeah, they're a little hard to trudge through, but it'd be mostly like, look at this shit.
Yeah.
Also, here's some fun canon.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the canon is set up very well. And we have a lot of theories about what they should do if it is a shortened season. And we'll probably talk about those throughout the season of Who Cares, just because we'll pick up more elements and see where they're going and maybe see if we're right or wrong about it. But I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I think all the characters besides Clara are appealing to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can also bring Clara in and not have a stinker like when the moon laid an egg or when London was a jungle.
So thanks, everyone. I think that's it. I guess we'll see you guys again for Who Cares, either if they do a final trailer, which they may, or if
we might have some shorts leading up to the season. We'll maybe grab a couple of those and talk about them.
If not, though, we will see you guys on September 20th, probably-ish, for The Magician's Apprentice. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
This has been Who Cares?